Yummy, yummy in your tummy? Good on you. Oh, what's wrong with it?
No, she's what? She'd already taken us guys and Michelle, the overseas special guest. Take your hat off for a minute. But my hair's all flat.
What about this, Mish? You did it.
Oh, I know.
Beautiful, aren't they? Beautiful. Hello. Mazel tov.
Everybody welcome and thank you all for making this special effort today to join us at the Kotel for our very special symphony today for Yonatans. I'm not actually speaking now. You are going to have to come tonight if you want to hear me talk because I'm not talking anymore. All I want to say, aside from the fact that we really appreciate every single one of you being here, is that our very, very special Naomi from Australia. So those of you who have problem with my English, Naomi is the best tour guide in the world, and especially for Israel. And you've seen them all because I've been on most of the tours. And Naomi is taking us on a tour here this morning. Female. I'm going to female. That's the
Victoria.
Oh, come on! She's here to give us a little taste of Jerusalem so we can share it.
Okay, so folks, we are now, well, Yonatan's going to show us exactly what we're seeing. We're going back now to the excavations here. It's about 2,000 years ago. That is older than your grandparents, and it is the area, or what we're looking at, the area of what was the temple, the Beit HaMikdash. How many Beit HaMikdash were there? 2. So we're dealing here with the remains of the second, but I know some of you know all this, so forgive me if I'm repeating what you already know. But we're talking about 2 Beit HaMikdash. This was the second. Now, what shape, Yonatan, what shape is this mountain? Rectangular, excellent. Has anyone ever seen a natural rectangular mountain?
Yeah.
Okay, but not natural. Now this is where we're going to use Yonatan to understand what's going on. I want you to imagine that this boy over here is not a bar mitzvah boy, but he is a mountain. And his name is Har Moriah. And it is here that about 3,800 years ago, a long time ago, and if you've read the book of Bereshit, you know the story, that a chap, in fact, what parsha were we today? Okay, very close. We know that Abraham came here with his son Yitzhak to Har Moriah and did what? Tried to kill him. Tried to kill him. Fortunately for all of us and Yitzhak, he was not killed. And that was up here on Har Moriah. It is on this same mountain, the spikes. Very spiky tree. Now, it is up here that 800 years later, a chap that many of you have heard of by the name of King David, Melech David, who came to this mountaintop and bought it. He purchased the land and wanted to build the first temple. But he didn't call it the first temple because he didn't know there'd be a second. What, did he build it or not? No, he was not allowed to build it. So it was his son, thank you Noah, that's me, his son Solomon, Shlomo, that built the first temple on this mountain. What happened 400 years after this temple was built? Destroyed? Destroyed. And then it was kind of bare for a while until some Jews came back from Babylon, and built a very small and modest temple. So that's a very small and modest temple. Okay, now comes a chap, and this is the name I want you to remember, by the name of King Herod, or Amelech Holders, King Herod. And was he Jewish or was he Roman?
Both.
He was both.
His mother was Jewish. So
His mother was Jewish, which made him Jewish, but his father was Roman, which according to Roman law made him Roman.
Roman
So
Catholic.
he was a very serious identity crisis. Was he Jewish? Was he Roman? Was he Moshe? Was he Mario? He was both. So what he did is he looked at this temple, and small and modest was not part of his vocabulary. He did not like anything that was small and modest, but his problem was the mountain was too small. So what did he do? He removed it, and then he said, but my mountain is too small. So what are you going to do if the mountain's too small? Okay, most of us would say bad luck. What did King Herod do? On Mount Moriah, he put a 40-acre platform. That's a lot of area. And then what was his, and then he put the Beit HaMikdash, his new Beit HaMikdash, up here. And now what's his problem? Wobbling. So you built sort of arches underneath. And what did he build all the way around? Walls. Chomot, exactly. Walls to hold up his mountain. Now, nothing remains of the temple. Nothing remains of this temple. It was destroyed in the year 70, nothing by the Romans. What we remember on Tisha B'Av, it was destroyed, nothing remains. But and today, what's in its place? The Golden Dome, exactly. But what does remain? The entire wall that held it up, the southern wall that held it up, and a bit of this side, the eastern and the northern. So nothing remains of our temple. What does remain is the outer walls. What does that mean? Thank you. What does that mean? If you look at our diagram, can you see a wall here? Yes, no? Yeah. And another wall there. There's a corner where they meet, correct? Can anyone find that corner?
Right there.
Yonatan's going to show you. Yonatan?
Yeah.
Thank you. Good job.
We couldn't even see his lips move.
In fact, you
Got his
can
father's
see,
intelligence.
if you look at this archway,
He's smarter,
point
actually.
out where remains are of this archway.
Right there, right there.
Exactly. Do you see it under the three windows and then the larger window? There's some stones sticking out of the wall. That remains of a staircase. In a moment in a movie, you're going to see that staircase. That's what people took to go up to the Beit HaMikdash to do shopping. Okay? It was the other side, the southern side, where they went when they visited the temple. That's it. We'll get to that later. So we have here the wall. What I need to tell you though is this wall is the same wall that Yonatan just did his bar mitzvah at. Where's the section where you did your bar mitzvah at? Can you point it to us? Yes. Okay. This is where he did his bar mitzvah. It's the same wall as that one. Do you see that? Yes? Okay. Now what I'm going to tell you now is something that may be a bit of a shock to people. Do you see anyone praying here in this picture?
Yes.
Did anyone go here and pray 2,000 years ago? No. People went up to the Beit HaMikdash, and today we offer, like we saw with Yonatan at his bar mitzvah, we want to be in contact, in connection with God. What do we give? Tefillah, prayer. But what did they give 2,000 years ago?
Sacrifice.
It's a nicer way to put it, Yoav, than dead animals. Okay? Sacrifices. Okay? Sacrifices.
So-
Korbanot.
They were live, actually.
That's what, yes, they were alive initially. So that's what they gave at the temple. Since we don't have a Beit HaMikdash, what do we give? We give tefillah. But where did they give these korbanot? Up here. Okay, what did they do down here where Yonatan had his bar mitzvah? Shop. You did your bar mitzvah in ancient shopping mall.
That was the
Okay.
first
Now
canyon. That was Canyon HaMikdash.
You unlocked it.
But what we have here is what makes this holy. In other words, no one's going to say that where Yonatan was today is not the holiest place in the world for the Jewish people. Okay, to pray at. Okay, and when you were doing your bar mitzvah, people in Australia and America and Europe and even in Ethiopia were facing you when they went to Tefillah this morning. Because everyone faces the Kotel. What has made it so holy? It may not have been holy 2,000 years ago. This was the area that was holy up above. Exactly. What's your name? Yarden. Very good, Yarden. It's all that's left. For the last probably 1,500 years, that's a lot of time, Jews wanted to have something to touch, to see. What did we have? Just this area. Because nothing else was available. That's all that was left. Huh? Because it's blocked now by that large ramp that takes you up to the to the mountain today.
Nobody wants you to go in.
Okay, well, it's closed at the moment, but we don't have to go there at the moment. But that, now look, if you look at that ramp, and we'll finish at this point, do you see the ramp going up? Draw an imaginary line of that. You see with the bushes on the hill going up? With that hill going all the way to where we are. And this is what it looked like before the archaeologists started digging here 30 years ago. This is what it looked like, or 35 years ago. That was all of where we are now was underground. All this wall was covered up. So back to what Yarden said, the only area that stayed exposed, that we could see, that we could touch, that we could pray at, that we could remember Yerushalayim, let's come back to Yerushalayim, let's rebuild Yerushalayim, is this piece of wall over here. So it's been holy for the last 1,000 years, even if it wasn't holy 2,000 years ago. That's what makes it holy, is that it's been in that connection for so long. What we're going to do afterwards is we're going to go down here and see this arch. We'll walk on the street of 2,000 years ago, and maybe we'll see how we go with time, we'll go to the south. But there's a chap in Detroit by the name of Bill Davidson that gave lots and lots of money to redo this excavation and made a visitor center.
Come back. YouTube's over YouTube
The first to document the Temple Mount area in detail. The Muslim authorities did not permit excavation within the Temple Mount, so Warren examined the walls surrounding the mount from the outside, digging narrow, deep.
Beit HaMikdash. They set fire to the top third of the walls. And this is, what stone is this? We call it Jerusalem stone, but who knows what stone it is? Limestone, okay? And the limestone, heated up with the fire, caused it to expand, crack, and there you see it. That's Tisha B'Av over there. That's the destruction of the temple, falling down on the street and destroying the street. So you can imagine the impact, the sounds, the destruction. And that's what they found when they were digging up all over the street. They pushed it to one side, but that is Tisha B'Av. Now we look at this wall, and we're right over here. Okay, you're on the street.
Where's the gate?
The gate is blocked. This gate, I'm sorry, we're over here, and the gate is there. It's blocked by that rubble. Okay, that's the Kotel, and we're over here. We are underneath Robinson's Arch. Can you see Robinson's Arch? Okay, that's all that's left. Were there any Romans called Robinson? No. Okay, it's named after an Englishman who was here and identified it. When he identified it, 150 years ago, he was sitting up there. In other words, all this was covered up. It was like that, where those bushes are. There was a hill. No, that's where the street was. The street was all the way up there, and this was what we call underground. On, do you remember? Then, wooden rollers. It landed on wooden rollers. And who said animals? You did. There were no elephants. But they probably used donkeys, camels, cows, oxen, and they pulled along the stone. And then it rolled on these rollers. I think it's hard to imagine because you dig down below your house, you have dirt. But in Jerusalem, here was like the period of the Canaanites. And then comes, I just need hats for a minute. Then comes David and Shlomo and so on, and they build a city. Then come the Babylonians and they destroyed it. And then we have, let's say the Babylonians built another level. And then the Persians built another level. Built another level. And then the Greeks, thank you. Now this is called a volunteer. Okay. Okay. And then the Romans. Coins. Paro or the king.
Now you gave me a reason. You know what they are going to open near the Kotel, the new shop there? A change.
So you couldn't take money with the pictures of people, with images, with idols. So they had to change money like you saw in the movie. They had to buy a sacrifice if they could. If they couldn't afford it, maybe they'd buy one for a few people. And when they were ready to go up to the Beit HaMikdash, what was that bath called that he went into? The mikvahs they took, and they studied. They sat here in groups, and they would study.
Take your head off.
Okay, take two, take your head off.
Okay, you can start now.
We're in Yerushalayim, and that's amazing in itself. That we can live in Israel and have our own country and make Aliyah and join our people in this place that we haven't been in for 2,000 years. And here we are when you're first born in Israel, gets an Aliyah at the Kotel. It's just sinking into me now. You know, he had his bar mitzvah really in Melbourne, and that's because that's where our family is. But in Israel, you're our family. And to take a day off is a big deal, and to come to Yerushalayim and to spend time with us. Yep.
Do you like the sound effects?
You're back in Jerusalem. Okay, so this is a farewell party. Surprise! No, we're staying in Israel. We like it here. And part of the reason we like it is because you guys are here and you're our family, whether or not we have any shared genes.
Taking that next step that they took.
Alright. So I want to thank everybody for taking the day off and pulling the kids out of school. Michelle from getting on a plane and coming to the bar mitzvah.
Another one, you hear there?
Another one. Michelle Roth from Melbourne came to the bar mitzvah.
And for the chayalim for killing
And she's still with us.
Yahoo!
So please, thank you. This is something we will always treasure. And I think it's something very special. And I'm so glad you're here and that we could do it. And Naomi could guide us. It was all her idea. And who's coming tonight?
Me!
Everybody. Please come tonight, there's more. And
Are you coming?
Which is coming?
there's more bagels. There's some bagels left over. Asu b'shalom b'chazara. Drive safely. And we'll see you at the next Simcha, which is in about 6 hours, 7 hours.
Have a good afternoon, Schloss.
Another one.
Have a little slough.
Who do we have here? Deutsch woman. Everybody's leaving to go home. Till we carry on with the party later.
I'm staying to shop.
You're staying to shop, are you?
Staying to shop.
Have fun. Bye, Shuki.
Bye-bye.
Oh,
Okay, message to Yonatan.
wait, let's do okay.
Stop eating.
No. Mazal Tov, Yonatan.
That's the guy who stole the last bagel. I saw him do it.
Hey, we didn't do it.
That's it? That's the message?
It's him. Hi, Yonatan. Mazal Tov. You were really good in the Kotel and stuff. And too bad we couldn't come to Australia. We
Yeah.
would have, but we don't have money.
Well, you can come tonight instead.
We're
can give us some.
Okay, thanks guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Loretta,
Yes, where are you?
I'm over here behind the pole. So
You making a speech too? Message
You don't want to
to,
video what I'm going to say. so
message
turn
to
it off.
Yonatan?
Mazal Tov, Yonatan. We'll have to get together and learn a little bit. Bring your dad.